Hungary's parliament adopted a resolution in response to the European Parliament's approval of the Tavares report. According to the resolution, the European decision goes against European values and redirects the European Union to a perilous path. The resolution says that Hungary does not want a Europe which restricts freedoms, in which the majority abuses its position, or where the sovereignty of people is violated. Lawmakers of Fidesz, the Christian Democrats and Jobbik supported the resolution. Socialist and LNP deputies abstained from the vote, while representatives of the Democratic Coalition and the E14 PM alliance voted against.
The Secretary-General of NATO arrived in Hungary for a one-day official visit on Monday. Anders Fogh Rasmussen was welcomed by Defense Minister Csaba Hende with military honors at the Pápa Air Base, where they took part in the groundbreaking ceremony for a new heavy airlift wing hangar complex. Fogh Rasmussen met Hungarian President János Áder and Prime Minister Viktor Orbán for talks. Orbán said that even during times of economic crisis, the level of security already achieved must not be allowed to drop, and Hungary's army must be further developed. It is not only an obligation of Hungary as a member state, but a national interest too, Orbán said. A new chapter based on personal and political confidence will open in the history of Hungary and Slovakia, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán told his Slovak counterpart Robert Fico in Budapest on Tuesday. Fico envisaged successful years for both Hungary and Slovakia and voiced the conviction that countries in the Central European region would need to strive for even closer cooperation. The two premiers agreed on opening new border stations and integrating the electric and gas supply networks of the two countries. Slovakia should follow the Czech example in amending its citizenship law, József Berényi, head of Slovakia's party of the Hungarian coalition, said on Monday. It was exactly the Czech piece of legislation that was served as a model for a similar law that took effect in Slovakia in 2010, he said. In the Czech Republic, the president signed the law under which a citizen of the country is not automatically stripped of his citizenship if the person obtains citizenship of another country. The situation in Slovakia is just the opposite. The Hungarian People's Party of Transylvania and Transylvania's Hungarian National Council are organizing protests against Romanian plans to change the country's administrative district, as well as to demand autonomy for the region, Tibor Tétoro, head of the People's Party, announced. Organizers have called on ethnic Hungarians and others who disapprove the plans to take to the streets in their towns or cities on the evening of July 20 to make their voice heard. Romania's population has grown by 1 million compared to the number in the country's 2011 census, the Romanian Statistics Office reported. The current number was put slightly over 20 million, out of which 1.25 million declared themselves Hungarian. 200,000 ethnic Hungarians have disappeared from Romania during the past decade, though Hungarians still constitute the country's largest community. According to census figures, in Harghita and Covasna counties, Hungarians continue to be in majority. Harghita County has the largest Hungarian community of over 250,000, while out of Romania's cities, Marosvásárhely has the largest number of Hungarian residents.
As Hungary's policy on Hungarian communities abroad and its policy towards neighboring states are inseparable from one another, ethnic Hungarian communities abroad have a vested interest in the success of the latter, State Secretary of Foreign Affairs Zsolt Németh said in a keynote addressed to the 21st Subcarpathian Summer University in Felső-Színevért. Among the Hungarian government's achievements in this field, the State Secretary mentioned granting Hungarian citizenship in a fast-track procedure, extending voting rights to all Hungarian citizens and developing Hungarian higher education institutions abroad.
Hungarian students won 4th place at this year's RoboCup Youth World Championship in the Netherlands. The Hungarian team followed closely after the 3rd place winner. 3 6th grade students of the Baptist Primary School of Nyírbogdány competed against some 2,500 students from 32 countries. Their robot, named Rescue, can be used for reconnaissance tasks in disaster situations. Several members of the folk dance and music group who were finalists at the Peacock Variations Talent Search competition arrived home from Washington, D.C. They performed every night at the largest folklore festival in the U.S. capital, the Smithsonian Folklife Festival, where they were audience favorites. A 52-minute documentary is being produced on their performances at the festival, which will be aired on public channels M1, Duna and Duna World. The 24th Summer Open University and Student Camp of Bálványos will be held in Tusnádfürdő in Romania's secular land between July 23 and 28. The Open University provides a chance each year for visitors to discuss in a sincere, open and relaxed manner the social and political issues that concern Hungarians in the Carpathian Basin. This year's slogan is Our Time, referring to the increased chances of autonomy. Citing the core idea of this year's event, Foreign Ministry State Secretary Zsolt Németh said that stabilization and reconciliation in Central Europe can only be achieved if minority rights are guaranteed.